Indigenous issues must be addressed. Saskatchewan would need to negotiate directly with First Nations who have constitutional rights and may align with either province or federal framework. My next slide is on that specifically. And I've heard this narrative online. I've heard it come from the left. We've heard chiefs say, you can't even talk about separation or referendum because it can't happen because of our treaty. That's actually misinformation. There is legal framework that has already been put in place in 1998 when Quebec tried to do succession referendum, and they outline what would happen. So when you hear these lies, you can counter back with this information. So they get a chance at voting just like you and I. So it is an inclusive vote. We have to have good faith negotiations with First Nations people. And this is an avenue, even us as an organization, we want to take part in. So if you are a First Nation person from a First Nation community, we would love to have you join a part of our team so you can give us your perspective. And I have white words here. Let's not do to First Nations what Ottawa does to the West. First Nations are their own culture. They have their own set of ways that they live. So if we treat them indifferently, if we don't include them, if we don't consult them, we're basically essentially doing what Ottawa's done to us over the last 100 more years. So what would happen if a referendum won for First Nations people? They could choose the status quo. They could choose to stay a part of Canada, and every reserve would become a part of Canada within Saskatchewan. They could do treaty transfer. And these are all things they would choose, not us. It would be them. They could choose to give authority, or I guess not authority, that's the bad word, but Saskatchewan would assume the Canada's treaty responsibility instead of Ottawa. And with how Ottawa's been dealing with it, we hear about the complaints all the time. I don't think that would necessarily be a bad thing. So another thing, they could choose a totally brand new framework, totally brand new treaty that are negotiated not from a place of vulnerability and naivety, which was way back when they were done, but it would be negotiated from a place where they know what they want, they know who they are, and they know what place they might fit in a new nation. Personally, that's the part that I like. And I'll also, full disclosure, I'm part Indigenous, so I can't say Métis. I'm part Indigenous from New Brunswick, so I'm part Mi'kmaq. So if I have Native features, because I am partly Native, so we'll see how media twists